Hi, my name is Dr. Paula Pielanen, and I am a research scientist in the mineralogy section here at the Canadian Museum of Nature. Mont Saint-Hilaire is located pretty close to Montreal, actually. It's one of the Montérégie Hills, and it's about 40 kilometers east of Montreal as you're heading towards Quebec City. It's one of the most famous mineral localities in the world. At Saint-Hilaire, we have more than 430 different mineral species in a very small area. Through the time, when in the 50s, when it was first started as a quarry, collectors would start going in there and finding these rare and strange minerals that they found really exciting. The first collector was Frank Mallinson. He brought the samples to École Polytechnique in Montreal for identification, and that's where really the scientific work on the rare species at Saint-Hilaire began. Mont Saint-Hilaire is known for many of the rare minerals that occur there, but those rare minerals are actually a result of the chemistry of the magma that formed the intrusion. An intrusion is an igneous rock that has come up through into the crust and not onto the surface, so it's crystallized within the crust. So the magma itself at Saint-Hilaire contained a lot of rare elements, and rare elements we define as just elements that are not common in the Earth's crust. So these are things that often that we're mining for technology, for things like car batteries, cobalt, lithium, titanium, zirconium. All of these are different rare elements. Sometimes they're called strategic elements. But at Saint-Hilaire, we have higher concentrations of these elements than we get in other intrusions because of the way that the intrusion is actually formed. Along with that, many of the minerals that we find there are type minerals, which means that they were originally found at Saint-Hilaire and might be found at some of the other alkaline intrusions in the world, but a lot of them actually occur only at Saint-Hilaire. Scientists are still finding quite a few different new minerals and new species at Mont Saint-Hilaire because we have new techniques, better techniques, and it's allowing us to add more species to the list that we have at Saint-Hilaire and also to learn more about the geological and mineralogical history of the intrusion.
Hey, my name is Ina Lykova and I'm a research scientist and curator, which means that I both study minerals and take care of the mineral collection here at the Canadian Museum of Nature. And today I'd like to show you some of my favorite specimens from Mont Saint-Hilaire. Let's start with the species that is considered to be the most iconic species of Mont Saint-Hilaire. It's called cyrandite, and Mont Saint-Hilaire produced a large number of fantastic cyrandite specimens, well known for their color, size, and sharpness of their crystals. Those specimens are highly coveted by museums and private collectors all over the world. The next specimen I'd like to talk about is remondite. Remondite is a rare mineral species. It's found in a few places all over the world, and I used to think about this mineral as tiny crystals, 2-3 millimeters in size, until I saw Mont Saint-Hilaire specimens. And that is where my jaw dropped, because they are enormous. And not only they're huge, they also change color depending on the light. They're reddish under an incandescent light and greenish under an LED light. Mont Saint-Hilaire is full of rare mineral species. And here in my hands is the ultimate. It's called galtite, and it's a member of a very common group of minerals, zeolites. More than 100 species are known in this group. They're found all over the Earth. They're used widely in different industrial applications, but there's only one species with essential zinc, and this is this one. But it's not what makes this species so rare. What I'm holding in my hands is the only known specimen with this mineral in existence. And here in tiny wax, you can see colorless crystals, a few of them, and that's it for what we know of this mineral species. And here we have a mineral called willemite. It's a close relative of halite, commonly known as table salt. The same as table salt, willemite is easily dissolves in water. However, unlike table salt, it was formed under very strange conditions. It is a magmatic mineral, It was formed under temperature of over 400 and 500 degrees Celsius. And the only reason why it was possible, because under such temperatures, the properties, chemical and physical properties of vapor and liquid water cannot be differentiated, they're identical. And under such conditions, this mineral is stable. And that's why I can hold it in my hands. And every time when I'm holding this specimen, I'm thinking about the amazing conditions it was formed under.
Hi, I'm Michael Bainbridge, and I'm the Assistant Curator of Mineralogy here at the Canadian Museum of Nature. Mont Saint-Hilaire is one of the world's most important mineral localities, both in terms of species diversity and specimen production. So one of our main goals here at the museum is to ensure that our Mont Saint-Hilaire collection reflects that global and national significance. Aside from what's currently on display, the mineral collection is kept at our Natural Heritage Campus here in Gatineau. The collection is also used for research, for traveling displays, outreach activities, and educational programming, among other things. Mineralogical research is about understanding where and how minerals form. We try to answer questions like, why does this crystal look the way it does? Or how does this mineral form in this environment? About a third of the new species discovered at Mont Saint-Hilaire were described at the Canadian Museum of Nature. Our scientists also regularly publish about natural processes in scientific journals and popular publications. The story of Mont Saint-Hilaire is an excellent example of the important relationship between scientists and collectors. There are new things being turned up in quarrying operations all the time, but we don't really have the time or the resources to be on site every time something new is found, or to sift through the literal tons of material that comes out. Fortunately, there's a passionate community of citizen scientists who are really knowledgeable about Mont Saint-Hilaire and are really keen about sharing their discoveries with us. One of the ways we know we might have something new or unusual is it just doesn't look quite right. Either it doesn't look the way we'd expect it to, or it doesn't quite fit in its environment. So we would then take it and test it with sophisticated equipment. And most of the time it turns out to be something familiar, but every now and then we'll find something with a unique chemistry or structure, and that can lead to the description of a new species. One of the ways we can honor contributions in mineralogy is by naming a new mineral after someone. We recently discovered a new mineral and named it Alice Wilsonite after Alice Wilson of the Geological Survey of Canada, who was Canada's first female geologist. New mineral discoveries can lead to interesting new material properties. Studying their mode of occurrence can help us to find new critical resources. But mineralogical research is also important for its own sake, because every new discovery tells us a little bit more about the story of our Earth, the evolution and formation of the world around us.